Take a look at this map of the early American Northeast. By the 1820s, the Erie Canal gave New York a direct water route to the Great Lakes, turning the city into a massive commercial powerhouse. Boston, on the other hand, was geographically stranded. The problem was this towering wall of rock directly in their path, the Berkshire Mountains. Railroads easily handled rolling hills, but steep mountain grades brought train transport to a crawl. In 1848, a businessman named Alva Crocker pitched a radical workaround. Instead of trying to lay track over the mountains, he proposed digging a tunnel 4 3/4 miles straight through the solid rock of Hoosac Mountain. Critics called the idea absolute madness. Private investors refused to touch it, terrified by the financial risk of boring the longest railroad tunnel ever attempted. Boston's desperate bid for economic survival pushed the state to move forward. Over the next 2 decades, the massive excavation would force the invention of modern engineering and earn the terrifying local nickname, the Bloody Pit. Work finally began in 1851, using standard 19th century mining techniques. Crews drove holes into the rock by hand and packed them with black powder. After 10 long years of blasting, they had advanced less than a single mile. The railroad company quickly ran out of money. As state funding dried up, cynical politicians mocked the stalled project, officially dubbing it the Great Bore. Desperate for a solution, engineer Charles Storrow introduced an experimental machine. It was an early tunnel borer, using rotating cutting blades driven by heavy steam engines to chew through the rock. The mountain won that fight. The rock proved too hard for the early mechanism, constantly breaking the expensive machine until the engineers had no choice but to abandon it entirely. The site evolved from a standard construction project into a high-stakes R&D laboratory for mechanized engineering. Engineers adopted Alfred Nobel's highly volatile new invention, nitroglycerin. Pairing these explosives with pneumatic drills, powered by massive compressed air steam engines, dramatically accelerated the rate of excavation. These drills used air to drive a mechanical piston that pounded into the rock much faster than any hand tool could. But that speed came with a severe cost. Nitroglycerin was unstable, and sudden, deadly explosions frequently tore through the underground crews. To accelerate excavation, engineers dug a vertical drop from the peak called the central shaft, descending 1,000 feet to dig outward in 4 directions. Then, in 1867, a worker dropped a candle, igniting a pocket of highly flammable naphtha fumes used in their lamps. The resulting blast destroyed the exhaust system. Toxic gases and floodwaters filled the chamber, trapping 13 men below. The rescue attempts failed entirely, and their bodies were left unrecovered for months. The engineering optimizations designed to save the project increased the physical danger to the workers, cementing the mountain's reputation as a mass graveyard. In 1873, the 2 main tunneling teams digging from opposite sides of the mountain heard the sound of each other's pickaxes and broke through the final wall of rock. Thanks to precise surveying mathematics, the 2 5-mile-long tunnels met with a margin of error of less than 1 inch. When construction officially wrapped in 1875, the final toll was staggering. The state had spent over $20 million, and nearly 200 workers had died. But the massive economic bottleneck was instantly cleared. Freight trains loaded with goods that once took days to haul over the steep inclines could now pass through the mountain in minutes. The project saved Boston from commercial irrelevance and created a direct high-speed artery between New England and the western United States. The trial and error beneath the Berkshires yielded technologies like pneumatic drills, advanced high explosives, and precision surveying that became the global standard for modern mining and construction. And the physical structure itself was built to last. Today, more than a century and a half later, freight trains still regularly run through the exact same shaft. Yet the mechanical achievements often overshadow the thousands of immigrant workers who actually swung the hammers, laboring through decades of darkness and freezing water. The Hoosac Tunnel stands as a monument to human persistence and a reminder that the foundation of modern infrastructure was built at the cost of nearly 200 lives.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps us.